Okay guys, what's up? GR here at the dungeon office. This is like take 2 on this thing, so shoot, I'm gonna go through it all in one take this time, even if it kills me. But here with another, this is kind of a twofer on tips on the contest and kind of trying to help you with your habits. The first one, just so you know whether or not it's worth listening to for you. First one's going to be a little bit of a stress trick that I heard about from kind of one of the gurus in that field of things on a call last night. Kind of an interesting thing that maybe some of you guys can try. I know a lot of us are in crazy times of our lives and everything else, so this may help you manage that and feel a little better about things that are going on. The other thing, the thing we'll tackle first, is basically a system that I use to help set myself up for success. So last video we talked about not setting yourself up for failure. Today we'll talk a little bit about setting yourself up for success, and we'll jump right into that really fancy system right now. So to build it up a little bit, if you don't have the newest, fanciest smartphone with all the newest, latest apps, and a time machine and a laptop and a refrigerator that will also put on your socks and brush your teeth, you probably can't use this tool. Of course, I'm completely joking. Without further ado, the best tool ever for this type of thing is the Puppy Notebook. Seriously, isn't that the coolest thing you've ever seen? We are selling these in the dungeon for the low cost of $49.99. It's the ultimate success system and logging system for members, and at a low cost of only $49.99, you can have this Puppy Notebook all to yourself. That's a joke, of course. This is really just a regular notebook, but I'll show you a little bit of what makes it special and what makes it so helpful to me in sort of keeping myself on track. So the big thing that sort of helps me along, you can see this is an example day for me. And what I've done, the reason that this is sort of so effective, is that I've literally written out and scheduled everything that I can of the day. And I'll try to do this the night before. It's most effective when you try to think of it that way. So the first thing I'll do is I will, you'll set your wake up time, set the time that you're going to have for breakfast, try to plan out, okay, it takes me this long to shower, and get a feel for that. Leave for the office or leave for a session if that's the first thing you're doing, you'll set that time. And then really anything that needs to get done during the day, you're going to try to schedule that as best you can. So for instance, I've got, the wake-up call when I leave for the gym, a couple of follow-up things that I did before I left for the gym. I had scheduled in there before I left. Leave for the gym, the sessions in there. And then the big thing that really stuck with me, that got me today, that made me think that this would be useful enough to share with you guys, was I actually I scheduled in my meal, and I also put what it was going to entail. So I put in at 2 p.m. get food, or get food, parentheses, home, beef. Now, this means, this is basically referring to, me and the wifey made a bunch of taco meat, tons of chili powder and everything else to have for the week, so that we weren't, so we could comply easier with green faces. And so I wrote that in, and I was going to have beef and then whatever green I wanted, right? And I actually had on the schedule an appointment where I was out and about before that. So all kinds of fast food, all kinds of different options. And I thought to myself on my schedule, well, yeah, I've already got it scheduled. It's going to be beef. That's what I'm going to do. And having it written down and having it scheduled just creates a higher probability, I guess, of compliance. It's not going to be perfect all the time. You're not going to stay perfectly on schedule. Sometimes your shower will take 12 minutes instead of 9, whatever. That's not a good number. But you're not going to be perfectly on time. But when you try to stick to it, it'll help you out. And I really urge you to think about this for other facets of your life, and not necessarily just a fitness thing. But if we've got homework for you to work on flexibility, or you have a soft tissue issue that we need to work on, or you just need to get up and walk in the morning before you come in for your afternoon sessions, whatever it is, schedule it in, and you're going to be a heck of a lot more likely to comply. And literally all it takes is pen, paper, and 5 minutes before you go to bed, write it all out. The other added benefit to this, if you do this right before bed, you can kind of treat it as a brain dump, and having everything written down and writing down little, like I use the margins for little notes of things that I need to remember to do, and writing those things down before you go to bed, you can kind of clear the slate and so-called clear the calculator. And it can help you sleep better, help you not be so stressed. I know I've spent a lot of time sitting there and, I think of something else I need to do and something else. And it can just kind of get a little overwhelming. So writing it down can help a lot. Did this again yesterday. I've been meaning to for a while. I'm so much more productive when I do this, and then I fall out of it. But I felt good getting down to bed after doing this. Okay, I got it all set up. I know what I'm going to do. The next thing, so the stress deal. You get a little bit of a stress part on this, but was talking to one of the really big guys and kind of stress management and energy and all kinds of goofy stuff that I don't necessarily always listen to all that much. But he had a pretty interesting thing that I thought might be helpful for some of you, and really for me, but I haven't tried it yet. He said to utilize backward walking, so literally backwards walking, as a means of kind of relieving stress and getting back to where you need to be, getting back to a good mental state. Center yourself, or whatever you want to call it. But his prescription was to do 30 minutes, or do 2,000 steps of backward walking. You really want to focus on your breathing. It's almost like a form of meditation, but you really want to focus on your breathing. So 4 steps, 4 big breaths, or four steps on a big deep breath. As you're inhaling, and 4 steps exhaling that big deep breath, and just doing that and walking backwards and getting those 2,000 steps, and no faster than 30 minutes. So if it goes slower, that's great, but you cannot finish faster than that half-hour pace for those 2,000 steps. The reason he said this is so effective, and that it has literally changed people's lives, and those are his words, not mine. I don't know this yet, but thought you could try it. Is that because you have to focus so much when you're walking backwards, you have to really think about and feel for each step, and go easy and go slow. And if you're really focusing on your breathing, it's a pattern interrupt. It's different than things that we've been doing, and can kind of, it forces you to focus and slow down, turn all the screens off. So turn the TV off, turn your phone off, or put it away from you in another room, whatever it is. And he said, do the half hour, 2,000 steps, walking backwards, deep breaths, before you go to bed. And he said it's one of the most awesome things I can tell people to do. That's super easy. You can do it outside if you want to look like a goofball walking backwards and you don't care. You can also do it in your living room and just take really small steps, take your big breaths, and see what it does for you. So give that a shot if you feel like it might be something that's worth your while. If nothing else, you're up and moving and standing up for another half hour, which can never hurt. Other than that, let me know how it goes. Seriously, think about doing the notebook thing. I've used the little yellow legal pads before. I know you can get a ton of them at Costco on the cheap. Sorry, Kmart. But I do like having, with me, stuff gets broken, so I like having a little thicker cover on the composition notebooks. And then it's pretty, I guess, relatively short. So if you're taking notes and whatnot, you can go through them relatively quickly, and it's kind of like an accomplishment in and of itself. That's 10 minutes. We need to go home. Let me know how it goes. If you have any other tips to share, please feel free to do so below. And we will talk to you soon.